All right, QMJHL fans, welcome back to another interview on YouTube Live. As you can see on screen, our guest here is Mathieu Cataford, who's joining us tonight. So, Mathieu, first off, thanks for taking the time for doing this.
No worries.
Is this an off day for you? Practice, school? How was it today?
Today we had a practice in the morning and we had a meeting in the afternoon.
Getting ready for a big week. I know you have two important games coming up against Chicoutimi.
Yeah, those are tough games, especially on the road in Chicoutimi. So now we're getting ready for this.
Awesome. So, Mathieu, usually as an icebreaker, just so people get to know you a little bit, I start off by asking what your nickname is. What do the boys call you in the locker room?
The boys call me Cat, just for the start of Cataford.
That's it? You got any other weird nicknames or just Cat?
Uh, Catty, Kitty Cat, stuff like that.
We won't call you Kitty Cat on air tonight, that's for sure. But the other question I like to ask is why you choose your specific number. Now, in your case, you went from number 10 in Halifax to 77 this year. I have a wild guess why you took the 77, but do you want to tell our guests online what the number's for?
Well, so obviously the number 10 was already picked, and all the numbers that I had when growing up, they were all picked too. So I got picked by the Golden Knights at the 77th overall. So I decided to go with that number, and also because seven's the lucky number in Vegas, so might as well go with it.
7-7. Hopefully, you won't turn out to be a big slots guy there. The triple sevens.
No.
I had a guess that was it because it's pretty weird to see a forward rocking 77 nowadays.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think some guys were surprised at first, but no, I like the number, so might as well go with it.
A little bit of Ray Bork out there.
Yeah.
So I can't skip the subject, obviously, which is the subject of the hour. You just got named to the selection camp for Canada ahead of the World Juniors. First off, what are your impressions? How excited were you when you found out?
I was really happy for sure. I think to play for that tournament, it's a dream. So to get an invite to camp, obviously, no, I'm really grateful, and I'm just trying to make the best impression out there and make a spot for myself on the team.
Now, you went to camp this summer, I believe, with Canada as well before this selection camp. Is that right?
Yeah, I
How did
think
that go? Did they give you any pointers for the season or things to work on ahead of this camp just to make sure you landed on that camp roster?
yeah, I think they want me to play in my identity, being a two-way forward, and I think that was the main message. Just not trying to do too much, just stay in my game, and I think I focus on that since the beginning of the season. I think it's going well. Probably one of the reasons why they gave me an invite.
And obviously, I mean, that's a tournament where, the best of the best are there, the superstars from coast to coast from the CHL land out there. So usually you have to end up, finding a role for yourself, sitting in a certain chair for that period of time. What do you think your role is going to be for the World Juniors tournament? Or are you focusing on anything in particular heading into that camp?
I mean, there's a lot of talent on this team, so I think I'm trying to fit more in the role with the of energy and being a shutdown defensive but player, but that can also bring pace and be physical. So a player that is hard to play against, I think that's going to be the way I'm going to approach camp, and obviously trying to make a spot on the team with that role.
Because obviously you mentioned a strong two-way game. You're focusing on that this year as well. But I mean, you're also a guy who likes to play a little bit physical, gritty, finish your checks. Is that something that you're going to keep it as part of your identity going in there?
No, for sure. I think I'm gonna be hard on the forecheck and back checks and finishing my hits. That was something that they really liked at summer during summer at the showcase. So no, I think I'm just gonna keep working on that and bring that into my game for camp.
Now, obviously, from a league standpoint, we only have two guys going, which is a little disappointing. But you yourself being one of those two, that's something you take pride in, to represent the Q when you're going to be out there.
For sure, I think like you said, it's disappointing. There's only two guys, but at the same time, I'm there for myself, so my focus is more on that. And obviously, no, I'm happy to represent the league, and I think me and Coach are going to do a great job.
Speaking of Gauthier, have you guys spoken since the announcement? Are you guys in touch at all?
Yeah, we exchange messages. We know each other from for a long time now, so no, we were happy for each other, and I think no, our goal is to both make the teams, and hopefully it happens.
I was going to say, not looking too forward to it because we're talking like it's already a done deal, but it's just a camp. But I mean, in terms of World Juniors, you mentioned the prestige of it, but this year, for people who don't know online, it's in Ottawa. So what would it mean for you to get to play in front of your home fans?
Oh, it would be a crazy experience. I think the World Juniors tournament I watch every year since I'm a young kid. So no, being playing in front of the country would be a tremendous opportunity, and it's for sure probably a dream that all hockey players want to accomplish. So no, I'm looking forward to camp, and I'm obviously going to give it all to make it happen.
Now you mentioned it's something you've been following closely, like most of the country has over the years. Do you have any traditions when it comes to that tournament and Christmas time with your family?
I think I watch all the games, honestly, especially the Canada game for sure. But even the other countries, I think you see there's like the other European countries, such as Germany, that are getting better. So no, I think it's getting more interesting every year. Obviously, it sucks that Russia cannot participate anymore, but it would make the competition even better. But I think I'm just every year watching it with my family and friends.
You have a fondest memory from that? Is like the Jordan Eberle, Tavares, anything like that that comes to mind, or maybe even more recent years?
I would say the comeback in the final against Russia in 2000. I want to say 2020, I think. But no, that was a great game, and I think I also went in person to see the tournament in Montreal. I think it was in 2014. That was a great experience. They were playing against the Canada was playing against the U.S. So no, that was those are great memories.
Yeah, I believe that was the shootout final. Is that right?
I think that was the year the one in Montreal before that.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, the final was in Toronto for that one for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've had some experience with Hockey Canada before playing in the Linka. So, I mean, is there any guys you're looking forward to linking up with the word bad word play there?
I mean, we had a really great group that year, so obviously, there's a lot of good guys. I think players also, such as I think one of the Braden Yager has always been I always been really impressed by his play, but also his leadership um, outside of the rink too. So I think some guys like that, Tanner Au, get along pretty well with him too. And no, there's a bunch of guys I think they're not just good players, but also really great guys outside of the ring. So no, it's gonna be nice to see them.
Now, it's interesting you mentioned, taking notes on his leadership and all that. Speaking of which, when you go into international tournaments like that, you sort of like a sponge, trying to soak up what different guys are doing in practices and all that?
Yeah, I mean there's some guys that have, like I said earlier, a lot of talent. So sometimes I don't think I'm the most skilled guy. So when you're on the ice with these guys, sometimes it's just real nice to see what they can show. And no, obviously I think there's some returning players, so you try to take notes off of them too, and see what you can bring to your game to help yourself make a spot on the team.
Speaking of a not skillful guy, you're only tied for fourth in league scoring right now, but no humble brag there, eh?
Yeah, well, I think, like I said, I know I have skills, but I think my main set is really my work ethic and my two-way game.
Yeah, I was just messing with you a little bit there. But are you, in terms of other countries, do you pay attention? I know the U.S. announced its roster and all that. Are you watching different countries, who the guys you'll be playing against? Obviously, you probably haven't played against them at the Linka before.
Well, I mean, I remember that year at the Link, we didn't play against the Czechia team, so I think that would be a really nice opportunity if we could play against those guys if I make the team. But I think there's also my teammate on this team right now, Pavel Simek, that is going to make that team, and there's also Basil Sansanens that have great chances to make the Swiss team. So no, it would be interesting to play against those guys for sure.
You're gonna be doing some friendly bets there, wearing the other team's jersey or something like that.
I don't know about that, but let's start by making the team first, and we'll talk about that after.
Awesome deal. We'll have you back on if you make it. So obviously, as we can tell on screen, you're wearing your Rimouski gear there, and you've obviously been part of a big trade. First off, I want to know, I'm guessing that was the first time you were ever involved in a trade, right?
Yeah,
How was that first reaction finding out?
I think I knew it was something that was probably going to happen at some point in my junior career. So obviously, I loved my 3 years in Halifax, and I'm really grateful for the memories there. And at the same time, I was really happy with the opportunity that I had to go to Rimouski, especially when knowing that they had the Memorial Cup. And I think Rimouski was also one of the teams that I wanted to play for before I got drafted my draft year. So no, I
Nice.
was really happy. At the same time, it's closer from home too for my probably last season in this league. So my parents can come watch more of my games, and friends and families too. So no, I think it's. I was really happy with the destination, and so far I really enjoy my time in Rimouski.
And obviously, I bring it up being your first trade because most people get used to hearing about trades in the hockey world, but they don't realize that up to this point, you guys get drafted by teams, selected by teams, and never have to change addresses. Now, at first, when you found out you were traded, obviously you seemed to be happy about the destination, but was there some sort of aspect about it that was a little scary to you, having to change cities, change teams, new teammates, everything?
I wouldn't say there was much things that were scaring me because I knew a lot of people already on the team.
Gotcha.
So I think they really helped me with the trade and just making myself comfortable in Rimouski. So no, obviously it's also compared to Halifax, it's a smaller city. It's French, so it's different, but I really like it here too. So I think it's just nice to have both experiences.
What would you say you missed the most about the city of Halifax?
I would say the Scotiabank. I think this rink was really something special. The guys too, there were really nice guys over there. So no, especially when you spend 3 years and with guys like I think Brady Schultz and Dylan McKinnon, who I started as a 16-year-old with them, Mathieu Russo. So no, it was hard to leave with those guys, but at the same time, I made some really great acquaintance here too.
Obviously, it's always about the guys you meet and the friendships you make along the way. But if you had to pick basically one of your favorite memories from your time in Halifax, what would you say that would be?
I'll probably say our playoff run to the finals, even though we didn't win, it was just really a great experience. I think beating Sherbrooke, it was just a great feeling, and playing at Scotiabank Center with the 11,000 people in the stand, and then going to Quebec City with the 18,000 people in the stand was just an NHL feeling. So no, it was really those are really great memories for sure.
Yeah, I remember the crowds during that series were just wild, both in Quebec and Halifax, just
Yeah,
setting records left and right.
yeah.
Good times for sure. Now, obviously, just bring it back to Rimouski. You mentioned it was sort of easy for you to fit in and everything with you knowing people there. Did you have friends who you had played with in the past at the U18 AAA level, or how did your transition go in so smoothly?
Well, I knew Alexandre Blais since I'm around the age of Pee-wee, I think, but also we played during summer tournaments together.
Okay.
Joël Perrault, our coach, I knew him from the Collège Charlemagne. So Jacob Mathieu had the chance to meet him this summer at development camp in Vegas as he was invited there. So no, coming there, it was obviously adaptations at first, but at the same time, I had the help of these guys to just get me comfortable here.
What about the trade itself? Obviously, you were traded against a boatload of picks. I mean, is that something that you pay attention to, what you were traded against, or it doesn't matter?
I mean, I was curious for sure to hear what the trade was going to be, but no, I actually just knew the exact picks that were being traded the day of in Moncton at the draft.
Oh, that's last minute for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, you must feel nice leaving something good to Halifax too. They get all those picks against you, but it feels like it's a good win for them as well.
No, I think both sides were happy. Obviously, it sucks to leave the team, but I think it was important for the team in Halifax, especially with all the older guys leaving. So no, I think for Rimouski, well, they were happy to have me too, and I was happy to go there too. So I think it was a win-win for both sides.
Definitely, and obviously, it's not like you ran away from Halifax. You're joining this Rimouski squad there that's got on a pretty big mission this year. Obviously, for people who don't know, you're hosting the Memorial Cup. That's where the tournament's going to be this year. So for you to get traded to obviously the team that already has an into that tournament must be a satisfying feeling for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got a feeling of what it feels like to go far in playoffs but not make it. So knowing that this year we have a buy-in to the Memorial Cup, it's obviously a nice feeling. But at the same time, I don't think we just want to leave it there. We want to make a deep playoff rounds and obviously win the series. So I think we know it's there, the Memorial Cup. But at the same time, we're just trusting the process and going one game at a time, one day at a time.
For sure. And the process seems to be good. You guys are really rolling right now, definitely at home since you guys settled into the new renovated barn, should I say. Speaking of which, how tough was that to start the season with so many games on the road?
Oh, it was something for sure. I think especially your last two games where we were getting probably a little tired, but no. At the same time, it was nice early in the season that we were on the road in the hotels with all the guys because it's in those moments that you bound the most. And no, I think it was good for our team chemistry, and I think we had a good record too. So no, it was a good start to the season
Definitely helps when you're winning games on the road and bonding with the boys.
for sure.
So Rimouski, big year, obviously with the Mem Cup. They're also celebrating their 30th anniversary, kicking in now. Uh, we know about all the alumni, the big names they had. Have you had a chance to speak with any of those big names or alumni since your time there?
I didn't have the chance really to talk with any of them, but we were fortunate enough. I think it was last Friday to have a message from Sidney Crosby before the game in the dressing room. So obviously it gave the guys chills a little bit, and no, we were all pumped up to go on the ice after that. So no, that was a pretty nice moment.
For sure. And obviously, like with the World Juniors, it would also give you a chance to win on home ice should you walk out with the Memorial Cup. But speaking of that home ice, we've mentioned the renovations. You guys have a brand new scoreboard, some new VIP suites in there, and everything. What was your first reaction when you walked into the building, seeing it all freshened up?
Oh, it's pretty nice. I think especially the jumbotron plays a big part, but I think sometimes something maybe the fans don't see that the players really appreciate. It's the new glass. They're softer, so for hits and injuries, it's probably better for us. So that was
Yep.
something all the guys were pretty happy with. And I think I only played when I was in Halifax. I only played one time a year in Rimouski, so obviously maybe I didn't see all the changes like the other guys did, but I think some guys are might be happy with the two bench being on the same side now.
For sure. And I mean, Halifax is a bunch of wild fans out there, but it's about the same in Rimouski, a bunch of diehard fans. Is that something that you felt, visiting Rimouski as a Halifax Mooseheads player before?
No, yeah, for sure. I think it's obviously not the same size, but at the same time, the fans are as passionate as in Halifax. So no, I think in that part, I didn't. I felt the really connection between those two teams.
What was your first impression of Rimouski, whether it's the fans, the rink? I mean, when you got there, what was your welcome to Rimouski moment?
Um, that's a good question. I'd probably say our home opener. No, that was a. I think that was a great moment, and it was the first time that I really played in front of the Rimouski fans for the Oceanic. So no, that was a great feeling.
Awesome, awesome. Now I can't really let you go without talking about Vegas. Obviously, you mentioned earlier, knowing guys at Vegas camp and everything. So speaking of that camp, I'm curious to know how did it go this year? I'm guessing did you take part in the main camp?
Yeah, so it started with the rookie tournament. We had three
Yeah.
games. Our rookie tournament was in LA. Did really great during those three games, and after this, I continued on into the main camp. I got a chance to play one preseason game against the LA Kings at home in Vegas. That was such a great experience. I mean, I think the crowd was it was a full crowd, and at the same time, it really gave me the NHL game feeling. So no, it's not the same as in junior, that's for sure. But no, it was just I mean, even though it was just a preseason game, it's something I'll remember forever for sure.
Now let's be honest, you had to be nervous going out for that one.
I mean, a little bit at first, especially the first shift, but once you're in the game, I feel like you just kind of focus on what you have to do and kind of forget a little bit about the rest. So that helped me a little bit.
Now I'm curious to know, obviously you played alongside NHLers in an NHL game. Do you feel like your game elevates or it's just way easier because you're playing with guys that are so much better around you?
I think it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's easier when you play with such talented players, but at the same time, I saw like what I have to improve to get to that level, and but at the same time, it was nice to see that now what that experience is like and what the level of play is. So I know what I need to work on, but at the same time, I'm confident enough that if I work on those things, I'll be capable one day to play in the NHL.
Now, I asked you earlier about your welcome to Rimouski moment. Did you have a welcome to the NHL moment? Is there something that stood out from that game or a player that you cross paths with that you're like, oh, I'm playing against this
Uh,
guy?
Yeah, I think it was definitely playing against Drew Doughty. I think even
Yeah.
though that was the game he got injured early
Oh,
on, I think just being on the ice against Drew Doughty was really a welcome to NHL moment because I remember since I'm young, I'm playing the NHL game on PlayStation, and I already always had him on my ultimate hockey team. So no, that was a special moment.
must be unreal going to finish your check against them.
Yeah, I think honestly, my first shift in the game, I had a chance to finish a hit on him, and I did, and I thought it was just a funny moment.
That's unreal. That's unreal. What about Vegas wise? Was there any specific player or veteran that reached out to you, took him under your wing? I know there's a few QMJHL alumni on that roster as well.
Yeah, I had good talks with Nicolas Roy. He's a tremendous player, but also such a great person. And he was, no, he made me feel comfortable and really helped me with that preseason game. Gave me good advice. So no, it was a really nice moment with him, and I think he's just a really great guy.
He's a massive human being too. He doesn't really show, but he's big
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, for sure.
um, Obviously, going back to Vegas, I mean, is there any other friends or guys that were drafted in your year that you've bonded with? Is that something where you're going through the rookie wanks together?
There wasn't that much guys that I knew my draft year and the year after, but I think one guy that signed there was Joe Fleming, and one of the funny stories about me and Joe is that my draft year, we fought in Halifax during a game, and obviously I don't think at that time he was signed, and I wasn't drafted. So no, I think it's something that we talk about sometimes when we're up there, and I think we think it's both funny. So no, that was a good moment.
Usually it's from friends to foes. You guys went from foes to friends.
Exactly.
Awesome, Mathieu. Just looking at the clock, that's pretty much all the time we had. So I'll let you go on this, and we'll invite people to join us if they want to watch the French interview, which will also be hosted on the YouTube channel. So once again, thank you for taking the time for doing this in your busy schedule, and obviously we'll wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thanks.